we go. Here we go. Woo, child.
Yo,
Oh, you see, you trying to show off. You trying to go ahead and show the muscles and everything so
nah,
quick.
don't do this, yo. Don't do this to me right now. You know what I mean?
You trying to show off real
I'm
quick for
trying to
everybody on the
like, come on, yo. Don't do this to me right now, Kyle. I ain't got time, yo.
My good man,
What's up,
my
man?
mega man, my actor, storyteller, my guy Vaughn. How are you doing today, by the way, man?
I'm good, Doug. It's Friday, so it's been a nice little work week, thankfully.
Yes.
But you know, I'm chilling though. I'm chilling. It's crazy everything that's going on in the country right now, so that's a little heavy on me too. But
Yeah.
besides that, Doug, I'm blessed.
We're going to start off with, my guy Vaughn had the opportunity. It is Barry. You played the role of Barry on The Oval.
Very from the Oval, yeah.
Woo! Let me tell you something. Barry be having me in mixed emotions. Be having me in mixed emotions from
That's good.
the rebel lifestyle. Barry's going through a moment where he's trying to find his daughter. His baby mother's dead. Your father's fired from the White House. You've been, blamed for raping the president's daughter. I mean, your life is. It's a little crazy. Well, Barry's life is a little crazy.
He definitely got a lot going on, yo. He definitely has a lot going on. When I read the script, I was like, every other episode, something new and big is happening to him, like something that's even topping the last thing that happened to him. So I don't know how much more he can take. If everybody's caught up, you know where he is right now, so he probably gonna have to be on chill for a little bit. But it's definitely a very emotional roller coaster for a young man.
Definitely. But I'm gonna go ahead and ask. So, when you got that call, when you received the part to work with Tyler Perry, how was that?
Oh wow. I was actually, I was in my kitchen, I was cooking, and I got a call and it said 404, and I'm like, that's Atlanta. And I'm like, who from Atlanta calling me? And I answer the phone, and he's like, is this Vaughn Hebron? I'm like, yes, who is this? And I recognize his voice, but I wasn't gonna say nothing. He's like, Tyler Perry here. Tyler Perry here. So,
wait, what? Wait, so Tyler Perry personally calls you?
Yeah.
Wow.
He does that, man. He's real personal with the people that he worked with. He's very conversational. He likes to make sure we have a good working relationship with anybody that comes on his lot for real. Because that's everything. All his projects, everything he touches is his baby. So he ain't gonna bring nobody on that he don't really know for real. He called me up, and we were just, because he saw me on the TT show, and he was wondering about my experience coming out here to LA, starting in Atlanta, coming to LA. My aspirations, things I was into, like as far as television and movies. And then he told me about the role a little bit. He didn't tell me it was gonna be like this, but he told me about it a little bit, man. And ever since then, it's just been a snowball effect. Things just going, moving, and we just rocking with it. So it's been ever since that day, it's been a crazy journey.
No, that's a blessing, and this being a part of that journey, even making history, because that is the first film. It's the first show that was filmed at the Tyler Perry Studios. So, how was it actually being on the studios? Working there. Of course, it was. You guys have probably exclusive access to everything before the big premiere. So, how was that being on set?
It was surreal, man. It was one of those things where you really gotta pinch yourself and blink twice every time you dare, because it's like you keep on asking, am I really here? Is this really happening? Am I on set with Tyler, acting in his new show, at his new lot, making history for real. So it was just a surreal experience, one of those things that, God willing, you'll have a whole bunch of other opportunities, but that's one of those things where you will always remember it. Because it was just like your first big thing at a historical place with a historical person, yada yada yada. So it was surreal, man. It was a crazy opportunity.
I know when you're in a lot of these interviews, a lot of people are talking about the Tyler Perry experience and everything, and we're gonna get back on that. But I want to get to know you as Vaughn, the actor, the story, because a lot of people see the glitz and glamour and your ending point, but it's really the humble beginnings that really you cherish the most of what got you to this point where you're at today. So I want to talk about it. So you're from Baltimore, Maryland.
From Baltimore, baby. From Baltimore. Yes. Come a long way from there. My family and my aunts and cousins, they still out there for real. So, yeah, man, it's because obviously I went to college in Pennsylvania, then moved back to Baltimore, and then I got into pharmaceutical sales.
Yeah, so that's you were an accounting manager. I had no clue that you were into pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, man. I was in pharmaceutical sales for 3 years out of college. And,
yes, and I know after your birthday, 3 days after your birthday, you got fired.
You be doing your research, yo.
I mean, that's what I do. I mean, look, that's what I do.
Research. All right, it was a company layoff. There's a big difference. It's a company layoff. Basically, you know, the company just laid off a whole bunch of people because our product wasn't doing well, and it was a bit of a shock, you know. But luckily at that time, I had already been taking acting classes for about 4 months before it happened, and you know, literally December 16th is when they did a company layoff. I think they offered me another job December 18th, but after that, I was like, I'm actually going to see what this acting thing is about before I step back into something that wasn't really, like, you know, fulfilling and making me happy. I was literally waking up on Monday through Friday wishing it was Saturday or Sunday, you know, basically living only for 2 out of 7 days out the week. And, you know, at 24, 25, that ain't the way to live. I'm sorry, that ain't the way to live. So, you know, I wanted to pursue something that really got me going, got me enthused, got me, you know, energetic to actually be living and working. So instead of taking another job in pharmaceuticals, I moved to Atlanta and started my acting career.
And some people will probably really think that's the craziest thing, but that definitely shows that, I mean, you can make as much money in the world and have a great job, but if you're not doing anything that makes you happy and what's your calling and passion, then you're not happy at all.
You ain't gonna be happy, man. I mean, the money is great, but it gets old quick. You know, you basically just collecting a paycheck, and you're not even enjoying living. You're just living for the money. So that was the thing that made me get out of that security, get out of that financial prosperity, and take a risk to do something I really wanted to do.
But I wanted you to take us through that journey. A lot of people and a lot of actors and a lot of entertainers like myself, you know, it's always you hear that you have to move. You have to move to go ahead and spread your wings and fly, but that can also be nerve-wracking. So explain to us that journey of going to Atlanta, and, you know, did you have a job, or was it just like you just going a leap of faith? Because I know when you first got there, you did book a leading role into a short film, but how long did it take you to get into that?
I literally booked the short film the first day I moved to Atlanta, yo.
Really?
The first day I moved, I got to Atlanta at 3 a.m. I had an audition at 11 a.m. For the short, and I booked it right then and there. So, so that was a very quick transition, thankfully. But I have peoples down in Atlanta. So, you know, moving there, it wasn't such a leap of faith for me because I had a security system there. And, you know, I can just chill with them, get my feet wet, figure out the ins and outs of this acting thing, so-called, and, you know, figure out if it was something that was really for me. As far as, like, the traveling aspect, yo, I tell people, I mean, you go to where the opportunity is. You know, if you really want to do something in life, you got to go where there's opportunity to do it. You know, there's only so much you can do from, unless you're living in one of the big cities or living somewhere that has a lot of business and trade and what you're trying to pursue, you gotta make a move. Even if it's for a couple years, even if it's like thing that you're going back and forth, you have to get out your comfort zone a little bit to grow. You know, nobody grows in a comfortable place. You always have to go somewhere else so you can expand and get better and grow your horizons a little bit to see how it can really work for you. So I tell it to everybody, you know, you can always start, like for actors specifically, you can always start acting classes, you know, in Baltimore or wherever city you in. But eventually, if it's something that's really appealing to you and something that you're really trying to do for real, you might have to make a move.
What got you started into acting? Like, I know people always say, like, you know, do I need the experience? You know, how much experience do I need to really, you know, land a role? Did you have that much experience when you were moving to Atlanta, or was it just like, you know what?
No. Hell no, man. What really got me into acting is because I've always been like a movie and television person. I've always enjoyed watching movies. I always enjoyed watching television. Always watching good stories. You know what I mean? The action roles, the drama roles, the romance, all that good stuff. So I was always a movie head, and that's what got my imagination going. I was like, yo, what if I was in one of these movies one day? You feel me? And it became a passion of mine because I will always watch something and have an imagination of me in it some way. And I think that's when I was decided that since I have a knack or a liking for this. Let me see what happens if I actually get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try it out. You gotta try things. You gotta at least put yourself out there in some way for something that's appealing to you. And maybe you like it, maybe you don't. But if you never give yourself a chance, you ain't gonna never know. You feel me?
People have questions on, how do I get out there? How do I get my start? Do I,
Gotcha.
send monologues? I record videos. So I know you did YouTube. So explain all that.
Most definitely. The thing with the YouTube, man, is because my classes were recorded, I had footage. I had footage, and because I went to class more than I was booking work, that was the only footage that I had to make a reel or to showcase my talent. So, you use what you have. And all I had at the time was acting classes until I started booking some things. But even still, sometimes the classes were better than the stuff that I was booking because, there were student films or short films, and the quality varied. So the important thing was to have something that people can see to market yourself. And it could be things that you make on your phone. It can be your IG videos. It can be YouTube. The YouTube videos never booked me a role, but they definitely put me on the map for some people. Casting directors called me in sometimes based off my work on YouTube and stuff like that. So it was just a tool that I had that was there in case I need it.
I think that's a key point to a lot of people knowing that too, and knowing that you have to have some type of resource or some type of product to show to people, because a lot of people are always looking for people to come to them, or someone needs to recognize me, but they got to realize you got to make the work and make the content for yourself, because if you take yourself seriously and perfect your craft, it's going to make somebody else take you seriously as well if they see that you're doing it for yourself.
Especially in this industry, yo, it's very rare that people do stuff for you for free or for just a favor. You got to be able to show that you can do something for them as well. And when I mean that, I mean a casting director isn't just going to give you a job based off of, you being really nice and asking them for it. You got to showcase your talent, and especially when it comes to reps, because I know people always ask about agents and managers, and that came later for me. But if I didn't have my material and the stuff that I can do by myself, if I didn't have that on point already, why would I think that they're going to want to take a chance on me, Definitely. So you gotta be ready. You gotta make sure that you have your stuff all together as much as you can before those other opportunities come.
Some acting sites you were using to actually book auditions and seek auditions, because in the whole beginnings you're seeking you got to find everything until you get that platform where people are seeing your work and reaching out. So what sites and what things did you use to actually seek all these acting roles?
I'll be honest with you, yo. At first, I was on everything. I'm talking about Craigslist had acting jobs.
Come on, Craigslist!
Craigslist had acting jobs on there, dog. There was Love to Act. It was so much random sites where you can book work. And I'm not gonna say it was the most reputable work. It might have been some shady shit on there, but it was work. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that actors, you have to submit if you don't have a representation, you got to find a way to get at least submitted to these projects, even if you do it for yourself. And then obviously there's union and non-union, but until you get union, you got to submit for everything because you're trying to work. So the specific websites that I used that really became dependable for me was Backstage, Backstage.com.
Take notes, whoever is watching, take notes.
Backstage is lit, dog. I booked the Black Card Revoked off of Backstage.
Okay.
And booking the Black Card Revoked off Backstage got me. That's what Quay saw when he wanted to book me for TT. And then that's what Tyler saw.
We're gonna talk about that too.
So yeah, I'm sure we will. Yeah. So the small beginnings. So Backstage, Actors Access. In LA, we have LA Casting. I think somewhere else is called Casting Network, Casting Frontier. Those are the main sites that I use.
I was going to bring it up. I think when everybody was getting more familiar with you is when you had that appearance on the TT show.
The TT show.
So explain to us, how did that come about and how was the experience being on that show? Because, everybody loved, I remember the previews when they were showing you saying you from Baltimore. Everybody heard your accent. Everybody in DMV here was like, oh, he's from Baltimore. Everybody was like, okay, we got somebody in Baltimore doing it big. So explain how that was. And when you saw all the previews in the air, were you nervous?
Oh, hell yeah, I was nervous, duh. I mean, I'll be honest, nobody on that set was like totally comfortable. All
Oh,
right,
okay.
nobody was totally comfortable because this was like an experimental thing. We were trying to figure out how we can make a show that looked like it was real but wasn't real, but also be funny with it and stuff like that, you know? So it came about because Quay, who I wasn't following at the time, he wasn't following me.
Uh-huh.
He hit me up out of nowhere. He DM'd me, was like, yo, my people's is making a show. It's with the Zeus Network. Would you be interested? And you know, me being an actor, I'm like, but I looked at Quay's thing, I'm like, what?
You're like, oh, hey, hold on now.
I was like, I think, I think so. I got to send me the details.
Uh-huh.
So he said, my people gonna call you tomorrow. So they called me the next day and told me what it was about. And I was like, I appreciate y'all considering me, but I would have to pass. I'm gonna have to pass. Because
Okay.
I told him I have to pass. Because at the beginning of my career, I'm not trying to be involved in anything that sends the wrong signals.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So that happened. So you know, I called some people after that though. I called like my best friends, I called my homegirl, and I was like, yo, so-and-so making the show, they really wanted me on it. It's not gonna be this, that, and the third, but it will be this, that, and the third. You feel me? Like, what y'all think? And a lot of people that I hit up was like, yo, do your thing. You feel me? Like, you an actor. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about what other people got going on with them. Like, do it for the reason that you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was still contemplating this, Lemmy, who is he's the president of the Zeus Network.
I bet called me back at the Crab Queens in LA or something.
Yeah. He called me and was like, yo, we really want you for the show. Like, you would be perfect on it. Like, can you please let us know something? Like, please consider it. And then something he said to me was that stuck with me even now. It was like, at the end of the day, you're an actor, and this is a chance to act. You feel me? So what you gonna do? And so I called him back in 5 minutes. I told him I was with it. But I did the TT show for 3 reasons.
Okay.
I did it for one, it was a chance to work on my comedy and improv skills. You know? And as an actor, as a well-rounded actor that I want to be, comedy and improv is important. So that's all the show was, comedy and improv. So I was like, all right, this is a good chance to work on that. If all else fails, it's a good chance to work on that. Second, you know, Quay had Quay had 4 million followers, so I was like, you know, a little exposure won't hurt.
Come on.
And then the third thing that I wanted to happen, which ended up happening a year later, is that I wanted the show to be seen by somebody who could offer me another job, a better job.
Yeah.
You know, not a better job, but like, you know, give me another gig.
Yeah, level up. Yeah.
Level up, exactly. And that happened when Tyler saw the show. So, you know, all the reasons I did the TT show for happened. And it was a good outcome. If anybody hits me up and says you want to do another project, I'm gonna do it with him because that's my man. You know, he's a genius. And at the end of the day, it was a good experience.
You was moving pretty fast. You were in Atlanta for 8 months.
8 months, though.
And you moved to LA. So from that moment to say I'm gonna move to Atlanta, you know, get my feet wet, start some acting classes, you know, get some gigs, and then 8 months, that's quick to me.
Yeah, I wasn't playing, yo.
What motivated you to go ahead to the other coast, to LA?
Yeah. The thing with me is, it was just signs, bro. Signs just started saying, like, I just kept on seeing LA on Facebook. I saw LA on my Instagram. I was seeing LA when I went to these casting workshops and talking to these directors. And most of the stuff that I was watching was written and acted by people that live in LA, even if it was shot in Atlanta. So LA just kept on popping up to me, and I was just like, yo, what's holding me back from just making that move? You know, I knew it was something I really wanted to do. And I guess that's the biggest tool. I knew it was something I wanted to do. So that's why LA was like, you know, I ain't had no kids. I ain't had no girlfriend. I ain't have nothing that was keeping me from pursuing this to the fullest ability that I could. And I felt like LA was where I could pursue it the way I wanted to.
You bring up not having a girlfriend and everything. You think not being in a relationship actually made you more focused to, you know, get a lot of your aspirations done? Because some people do, like, some people are in relationships. I'm talking about at the time. We'll talk about recently now if you want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But people, I would sometimes ask, like, you know, the relationships, being single, like, did that help you kind of maneuver your way around to this, you know, achieving your aspirations?
I will say not being in a relationship didn't hurt me. You know, because I had nothing that was, again, drawing my focus or my attention or my time and energy elsewhere. You know, I can focus clearly on what I wanted, opposed to trying to make somebody. Honestly, for real, the reason I moved to Atlanta first is because I did have a girlfriend at the time.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I did have a girlfriend at the time when I first moved to Atlanta, and being there was better for the relationship. Well, than moving to Atlanta. Okay. But it didn't work out anyway. I think it depends on the person. You know, if you are good with prioritizing and time management, you know, I don't see why you having somebody will keep you away from things as long as they understand the industry that you're in and, you know, they can handle it. But at the same time, if you're somebody who doesn't know if they can do that and manage that and really go after what you want while you have somebody, then yeah, it's probably better to be single until you get yourself established. Is it hard making friends within like the show business in LA? Are people really authentically nice, like the actors and people you work with? Are people really just like, oh, they just put up a front? Like how I heard LA can be really, really, really shady, and it's hard to make genuine friends. So were you able to make genuine friends while being in Los Angeles? I made genuine friends eventually, yo. Being in an acting class helps. You know, being in a space, in a safe space in your industry or what your like daily lifestyle is very helpful because you're gonna meet like-minded individuals. So that's the important thing. But when you go to these events or when you go searching for clout, you're gonna find people that everybody's nice, but the reasons that they're nice might not be the best. You feel me? That's really what it is. It took a while for me. It took a while for me, especially coming from, you know, not only the East Coast, but coming from Baltimore. We ain't the most friendly. We outgoing, but we ain't the most friendly. You know what I mean? Like you cool from afar. Yeah, these LA people are so kumbaya and huggy and stuff. I'm like, yo, I don't know you. Really? And then they be like, oh, you stuck up. I'm like, I ain't stuck up. I just don't know you niggas. So it's a difference. You feel me? Like. You learn how to adjust, how to adapt, and you become a little bit more social. But you know, it's a trial and error thing. I will say that. The oldest of 9 siblings. Yeah. Who child? Do you ever miss family? How was it keeping that family relationship together through your time traveling and getting your career done? Yeah. Well, I mean, I just paid for my family to fly out here to see me. You know, so. Stuff like that I'm blessed that I can do that. We have that conversation, we have that relationship where, you know, you do your thing, but it's still all love. It ain't nothing where it's like you should be here to support us and stuff. It's like, nah, you do your thing, we look up to you. Since I'm the oldest, everybody's always looking up to me, but it's very important that I always reach back and make sure that I spend time with them when I can. Besides, like, you know, the friendships and people like that, were there any other struggles you developed, especially moving so far away? Like, were there any times where you struggled with different things? Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, when I moved here, honestly, before I booked the Oval, it was a little rough, man. I had like 4 jobs. Wow. I had like 4 jobs, maybe 5, depending if you count. Like, I was doing valet, bartending. I was a server. I was selling life insurance. Like it was. See, this is the conversation we did here because a lot of people don't hear this. I respect you 100%, man, keeping it 100 with me because a lot of people don't talk about these things. They think that, you know, they see the first big thing. They think, oh, this person made it. This people flexing on the gram because the gram is like a big facade. People really out here grinding. Yeah, those first 2 years, man, it was great, but it was a struggle, you know, and you have to learn how to work through the struggle because, you know, you have to trust the process. You got to understand that you have to look at your jobs, multiple jobs, just to make your ends meet as a means to an end, you know, not a means to a lifestyle or a beginning, it's a means to an end. You're trying to go somewhere. So that really drove me. It was like, I'm doing this. I'm working so much in all these jobs right now so I can keep on financing my dream. I can keep on financing the stuff I want to do. It's a lot of actors, especially at the top, who has these stories. You feel me? And I think if I would have came out here, you know, in the first month or 2 and then booked the Oval, I wouldn't have appreciated it as much. I would not have appreciated it as much as I do now, because if you don't go through that, it's like being a bruh. You know what I mean? It's like
there was some other bruhs in here.
You go through things so you can appreciate being on the other side. You know what I mean? If it's just handed to you, you don't really, you're not going to know what it is. You're not going to know how to handle it. You're not going to know how to deal with people in it.
You got to persevere through some things, you know?
Yes, you learn so much stuff through your process, and it's a reason for it, and you have to trust. It was an adjustment. It was an adjustment because, you know, you're not financially where you want to be. You're not booking any big jobs like that. So it's like, yo, when is this going to break? When am I going to get it? And, you know, me, I've only been doing this for, honestly, like, for real, like 3 years, 3.5 years.
Wow.
There's people that's been out here for 5, 10, 20 years, man, and they haven't, you know, they haven't achieved what they want yet in any type of manner. And, you know, it's an unfair business, and it should be, because some people are just going to get there sooner than others, and some people's going to take forever. And it all depends on how much you want.
Any future jobs, any future roles, anything we can look up to, look out for, you know, with the coming year? Because I know you're working on one project. Can you talk about it yet?
Yeah, I can talk about it a little bit. So I filmed King Richard.
Yes.
With Will Smith.
Yeah.
Playing the father of Venus and Serena Willams.
Yes.
It was supposed to hit theaters this Thanksgiving, but it actually got pushed to next Thanksgiving. And it is based in the late 80s, early 90s. So I will be looking a little different in that.
I can't wait. Now, I didn't know if you want to talk, if you could talk about it now, but I said we pushing him before he leaves.
But I'm actually glad you brought it up. Yeah, it's gonna be a great piece, man. You know, it's not. I'm one of the main antagonists with Will, as far as, like, you know, the stuff that he's going through. It's not like a huge appearance, but like I'm in there.
You're in there. Were you able like to have a conversation, talk to Will Smith, get tips from him?
We was around Will all the time.
With Will Smith. Tyler Perry, Will Smith. You doing it, man. You doing it.
Again, it was surreal. Like, I'm looking at him work, and I'm like, yo, I'm actually here with Will. Like, it was one morning. It was a couple mornings, actually. I'm in wardrobe. You know, I'm in hair and makeup, and he comes over and sits right next, and we just talking. We just chopping it up, you know, both getting our things done and everything else. And it's just like, yo, I'm actually here with Will. Just watching him be in it and watching him, like, do his thing, yo, it was a dream come true, man.
Definitely. And dog, I appreciate you so much for being so vulnerable, open, and real during this conversation today. Because we got to hear about your time working with Tyler Perry, but I think the real great thing about it is getting to know who you are as a person, and, you know, you being so, you know, authentic with us for those people who are trying to become actors, become an entertainment business. It's great to see these interviews with people that we see on, like, TV, and so, like, oh my God, but just to see you humble yourself and just break down them barriers to talk to us. Hey, bro, I appreciate it so much, and also taking the time out to be on my MILLENNIAL discussion. Keep watching The Oval, and I cannot wait for your movie with Will Smith to come out. I'm so proud of you, dog. Keep persevering, keep uplifting, keep doing everything, dog. And I'm proud of you. You're inspiring me, and we're gonna see each other soon.
Oh yeah, you know it. I mean, yo, thank you very much for having me, bro. I feel like you're a light during this time with the way your energy. I don't know if these people have seen you at an event, yo. You are like, I don't know if you be popping Molly. I don't know if you be doing whatever.
We drink water. We high off life. Hallelujah.
That's exactly what it is. Like, you be on a 10 the whole time. And I just like, yo, there go Kyle. Just watch Kyle, man. But then also your inspiration, your energy, dog, I really appreciate it. So thank you very much for having me and giving me this opportunity to